We have with us a youngster, a doctor by profession. His name is Maulik. His mother has been behind me for I don't know how many months saying that please give me a chance because I want to speak on the stage on a subject that's very crucial. And I kept ignoring her until she kept persisting me so many times that I had to agree and give her son a chance to talk to all of you for 7 minutes flat, not more than that. And ladies and gentlemen, he's talking to us right now on a subject that's going to be of interest to each one of us. Perhaps you don't even know that you are in danger. I mean it. Our entire religion, our entire spiritual world is in danger. And Maulik, this young man, less than 24 years of age, is talking to you today on that subject. Would you please put your hands together for Maulik, everybody?
Good evening, or rather good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On your screens, you see what? 2 brinjals? Of course, no prizes for guessing that, but can anybody tell me the difference between these 2 brinjals? That's right. It's hard to say just by looking at it what kind of brinjal each of these is, but one of it is organic and one is genetically modified. Now, we come to the next question, what is genetically modified food? Okay, next slide. Genetically modified food. This is a question a lot of us don't even know, leave alone the answer, but a lot of us do not know the question itself. So, how is genetically modified food made? For that, I'll just have a look at this one. When an animal gene is taken from an animal and put inside a plant, that is when you get a genetically modified plant. Now, once it's inserted into the plant does not lose its morphological character, as in its appearance is just as the normal plant, but it is not actually a normal plant. And for your information, the kind of animals that they use are, you'll be surprised, it's pigs, fish, lizards, worms, spiders, frogs. They have these particular cells that are removed from their body and DNA is extracted from them, and certain segments of DNA called gene are inserted into the plant. We will not go into the technical aspects, but I'd like to also mention at this point in time that what are the plants that are going to be genetically modified. Plants like rice, okra, brinjal, potatoes, tomatoes, cabbage, banana, things like these which we eat on almost a daily basis, these are going to be genetically modified. Now is the hour of the change. We have to make the change occur. There are a lot of multinational companies who are wanting to introduce these crops for a general use, but these plants do not have any advantage. Inserting, next slide please. What exactly is done is, when you have a certain desired characteristic from an animal, like a shorter reproductive time and resistance to pests, these are made use of in the plant. These genes are inserted into the plant genes, and those characteristics are, from the animals are transferred into the plants. Now, what would happen? So what is wrong with it is the next question. What is the dark side? How is it going to affect you? Just think about it. An animal gene in your food would mean what? Exactly. Your plant, what you eat, is going to be a non-vegetarian plant. It's hard to believe, but science, this is the dark side of science as well. Now, once an animal gene is inserted into a plant gene, this would make things like tomato, brinjal, cabbage, okra, that we consume frequently into a non-vegetarian item, thus making the food that we eat a non-vegetarian food. A lot of us, okay, how many of you people eat all these American corn with the masala, and they're sold on the roadsides with nice soft American corn? You please raise your hands. Okay, let me give you a shock of your lives and let you know that that too is genetically modified. And when these were fed to pregnant pigs during clinical trials, the pregnancy went on normally. But at the time of the delivery, the pregnant pig delivered just water bags. The baby just vanished. The baby piglet just vanished in the uterus. Now that suggests that these American corn or in BT, not BT, genetically modified food in general has a lot to do with a lot of side effects in humans. So when these crops were fed to animals like rats, untoward side effects were seen. All sorts of different unusual characteristics like allergies, stunted growth, decreased immunity, precancerous growths were seen in numerous places in the body like brain, the intestines. The babies of these children, the babies of these lab rats were, when the karyotyping was done, they were detected to have mutant genes. Because of this, they had low IQ, they had multi-organ damage, multi-organ failure on a long run, and along with that, many life-threatening diseases like cancer and ultimately early death. Now, the question is, what do you want to give your children? Do you want to give them a healthy life, or do you want to give them a sick life? Healthy, right? Now, there's another aspect to genetically modified food. This, once introduced into the environment, as of now, there is only BT cotton. Only the cotton plant has been introduced inside India, legally speaking. But there are a lot of other plants that have been illegally, being circulated or being sold. But once these are introduced in our environment, we cannot withdraw them. The ecology, the ecosystem is going to get ruined. So we have to act at this point in time. I'll come to that later, but at this point in time, we have to, realize that once these plants are introduced, we have lost our choices of what we eat, the safety of our food, and this amounts to consumer right violation. This problem of genetically modified food is a global problem. In various countries, as you may see in the slide, countries like Italy, Greece, Austria, Poland, they have banned genetically modified food for the simple reason that they have no advantages, they have added disadvantages, the production is not higher, there is pesticide resistance. Yeah. Finally, I'd like to conclude. What exactly do we have to do for this? Spread the word. Talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues. Spread the word. Let everyone know about this. Protest. Secondly is protest. There's a public discussion on genetically modified food happening on 25th of this month, where our Union Environment Minister, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, is coming down to Bangalore. Recently, it happened in Kolkata. Now he's on 25th, he's coming to Bangalore. And I urge all of us, we should go in large numbers, represent our community, protect our religion. It is important because once, as I said, introduced, you can't do anything, you will be, all of us will be non-vegetarians, and the very principle of ahimsa in Jainism will be jeopardized. And finally, when we go there, I seriously recommend we should ask for a ban, we should ask for a moratorium, and request the government to respect our values, our virtues. I'd like to end with a saying by Thomas Jefferson, the third US president. You can have a look on on your screens. If people let the government decide what food they eat, their bodies will be soon in a sorry state as those souls who live under tyranny. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to urge you, I'd like to request you, please spread a word, be alert, let everyone know about it, let's protest against it, and let's make this world a better place for us and the future generations to come. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Malik, 7 minutes, and what an impactful message that he leaves with.